In some family leisure stores, usually in southern states, they offer a dual return system, a top and bottom return. Those go back to a three-way valve. To winterize, first, close the three-way valve by turning the lever to point it at the hose that goes to the bottom return. That will shut off the water flow to the bottom return. Next, it will be necessary to install a plug in that bottom return. To install the drain plug in the lower return, first of all, use a channel locks. Gently loosen the outer lock ring for the eyeball return. Be careful not to scar the liner. Just loosen it with a couple of turns, and then the rest can be done by hand. Take it off. The eyeball will also come off.
Be sure to remove the inside threads as well.
And I recommend you put them into the skimmer, again so you know where things are in the springtime. Now, take the drain plug. Make sure that the expansion nut is completely loose. And you're going to push the drain plug completely inside of the return. Push it all the way in, and then tighten the wing nut on the outside. This will expand the plug so it fits in there tightly. Remember, the weight of the water also helps to keep the plug firmly in place. Now we're ready to winterize an element system that has dual returns. Again, remove the hose at the skimmer. Now, remove the hoses on both sides of the dual return system at the three-way valve. These hoses can sometimes be difficult from sitting there in the hot sun all summer. Remove both hoses. And lay them down. Next, loosen the union to the Permasalt system. Just simply unloosen it and remove the gasket. Dump the excess water out. Then inspect the copper bars inside. Replacement chambers are usually needed every year. Open the drain cap at the bottom. That'll begin the water coming out. But then when you release the pressure up at the top, the water will really rush out. There's an awful lot of water inside of that system, so just have a little patience as it drains. Then carefully open the lock ring. Be careful not to hit your knuckles on those burrs, but lift up, make sure it's loose, and simply pull the top off. That will expose your element system. Remove the lock ring. Now, pull the element system off of the center core. There is a sleeve inside that the element has to come off of. Leave the sleeve inside and pull the element system completely out. Set it aside, and I recommend that we clean it before putting it up for the wintertime. Now, put the cap back on the center core sleeve. Again, this is just to make sure we know where it is through the wintertime and no parts get lost. Then, put the top of the element system back on and just loosely tighten the lock ring. That just holds it in place. Now, we're going to loosen the union between the pump and the element system itself. Just loosen that up and pull off the gasket and set it aside with the cap and the clamp. Loosen the set screw that holds the filter to the base. Just loosen it a little bit. That will allow the filter to come off. Simply lift up, dump out the excess water. Then set it aside. It's now ready to be put up for the winter. Next, take the hair and leaf pot lid off. Use a channel locks and take and loosen the union between the pump and the hair and leaf pot. Remove the hair and leaf pot by hand by simply unscrewing the union. Remove the excess water and take the gasket, the other clamps, and all of your parts, including your drain cap, and put them into the hair and leaf pot basket. That will help them to keep them all together through the wintertime so we know where they are in the spring. Then put the lid on to hold them in place. Now we're ready to take the drain plug out. Simply use a flathead screwdriver and open the drain plug or loosen the drain plug. Remove it the rest of the way by hand. Dump out the excess water so there's no water left in there should anything happen where it would freeze. Now put the drain plug back in. Tighten it by hand. Now tighten it the rest of the way with your flathead screwdriver so that there are no leaks in the springtime. Now reattach the hair and leaf pot to the front of the pump. Again, this is just to keep things together through the wintertime, so in the springtime everything is ready to go. Tighten it the rest of the way with the channel locks. We recommend always bringing all your equipment inside and put it into a non-freezing area, like a garage or a storage facility. Now we did winterize and remove all the water, so if it had to be put into an outside storage area, it would be fine. But as you can see, sometimes there's still a little water left. Better to bring it inside into a non-freezing facility.